Hi, we're Group 4 and today we're facing an ethical dilemma. So our setting is a salon or a clinic where staff members are being given an incentive to sell products, particularly exfoliants that contain AHAs and BHAs, to clients that may necessarily not need this. In terms of an ethical dilemma, we are focusing on a therapist putting her own interests before the best interest of her client. This is a snapshot of this particular ethical dilemma. However, this can happen across the board in a range of industries. Hi, I'm Laura and today I will be playing the role of the manager.
Hi, I'm Kiadi. I'm the therapist in this clinical setting and I am driven by my sales target and not the best interest of my client.
Hi, I'm Fiona and today I'll be playing a therapist who puts my client's best interest before my sales incentive.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'll be playing the client in the clinical setting. I present with sensitive rosacea skin and I've just come for a consult today.
Morning girls, how are we?
Good.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to have a team meeting to go over the staff incentive for the month. So what it's going to be is whoever can sell the most exfoliants to our clients that contain AHA and BHA. So the incentive will be whoever sells the most will get a cash bonus at the end of the month. So I really want you guys to focus on selling as many of these exfoliants to our clients, okay? Any questions?
No.
Great, let's get going.
Hi Vanessa, I'm Kiadi. I'll be a therapist today. So what are your main concerns?
I'm just feeling really sensitive and quite red, and the only things I'm using at home is soap and water.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Well, for today, what I'll tell you to do is probably use AHAs and BHAs. They're chemical exfoliators, which would be really good for your skin. So probably use them about 4 to 5 times a week for morning and night. And that would really, really benefit your skin. And that would be amazing. Your skin might peel off a little bit, but that's absolutely okay.
And chemical won't be too strong for
Oh,
my
no,
face?
not at all. That should be absolutely fine. Like, you feel a little bit sensitive for the first 2 weeks, but it should be fine. It should eventually go away. That's your product. That's the one with alpha hydroxys and beta hydroxy acids. Just remember to use it 4 to 5 times a week, morning and night time. And that would really, really benefit your skin.
And you're sure that it won't react?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. That would be really, really good for your skin. Yeah. So I'll just get you to pay for that. That's just $100 for that. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Not a problem. See you later. Oh, that was really good sale. Hey.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about that.
What about it?
Did you really think that was in the best interest of your client or did you just sell it to meet your target?
Yeah, well, I don't care. Like, I just have to sell the most exfoliants and at least I'm getting closer to my target. Like, I don't really care what's happening with the client's skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one.
Well, it's alright as long as I get my commission.
Our scenario of an ethical dilemma comprises of a salon or a clinic situation where a therapist is driven by sales incentives and puts their interest before the client's best interest. This presentation focuses on ethics regarding sales in the health industry and how this can lead to an ethical dilemma. Healthcare organizations often lack guidelines and policies in ethics and structures of ethical support for their staff members who carry out these decisions. Ethics is a part of decision-making process at all levels of work and management. Ethics means being guided by principles, norms, and values that originate from individuals and society. Ethical decisions are a critical component of our everyday life, involving judgment and justification of what is right or wrong. Organizational and professional ethics refers to expectations of right behavior of employees in a work setting and how employees should approach ethics based on duty of care, service, rights, and moral character related to work environment. Situations that arise in healthcare settings related to decision making are referred to as clinical ethics. An ethical dilemma is a complex decision making situation which involves difficult choices among several alternatives that have the potential of being unethical, and it is unclear which choice is the right one. These challenges can arise as individuals are entitled to different moral views and principles, and ethical decisions are based on a person's perception of what is right. A person facing ethical dilemma may choose short-term benefits of unethical gains over long-term perspectives based on professional and organizational standards. As communicated in our scenario, incentives and temptations can play a major role in the decision-making process of an individual faced with an ethical dilemma.
Ethical dilemmas can arise in many different healthcare settings. Workers or practitioners have a duty to make the care of the patient or clients their first concern and to practice safe and effectively. They must be ethical and trustworthy. Patients or clients trust practitioners because they believe that, in addition to being competent, practitioners will not take advantage of them and will display qualities such as integrity, truthfulness, dependability, and compassion. Patients or clients also rely on practitioners to protect their confidentiality. For example, a nurse working at a small community hospital in the emergency room has just seen a famous celebrity admitted due to a fall riding a horse. The injury does not appear serious, as the celebrity is walking only with a slight limp. The nurse is not called to assist in the case, but she looks through the charts anyway. During lunch break, the nurse cannot resist telling several of her co-workers all about the celebrity. The rules of confidentiality obligate healthcare providers to keep secret all patient information, except when medically necessary or when required by law. Good practice is centred on patients or clients. It involves practitioners understanding that each patient or client is unique and working in partnership with patients or clients, adapting what they do to address the needs and reasonable expectations of each person. It is also a component of practice to minimise risks to the patient or client. Good practice involves understanding and applying the key principles of risk minimisation and management to practice. Many of these ethical conflicts arise when a practitioner struggles with beneficence and economic interest. For example, a client who arrives in a clinic on Wednesday who is getting married on a Saturday desires dermal fillers in her cheeks and nasolabial folds. The practitioner knows the risk of potentially bruising, localised temporary oedema, or the possibility of an unanticipated reaction to the filler, but instead looks at the possibility of a sale rather than what is in the best interest of the client.
Current research indicates that unethical choices and the selling arena are intrinsically linked. Often false or misleading sales pitches and questionable business practices are utilised by employees due to the pressure employees feel to reach their sales goals and to appease their managers or supervisors. Rather than building a relationship with the customer to encourage trust and opportunity for repeat long-term business, the focus shifts to viewing each customer as a calculated and short-term transaction. Employees engage in aggressive sales tactics or what could be described as the hard sell, which is usually supported by deceptive and biased information to close the sale. As we have shown in the video, employee A is mostly concerned about reaching her product quota for the month, rather than focusing on what is most necessary for the client and her primary concern about her skin condition, rosacea. To assist in protecting the patient-clinician relationship in the pharmaceutical industry, the FDA was implemented to protect consumers from potential products that promoted misleading or fraudulent benefits. In a bid to also assist in regulating and to maintain an ethical scope of practice, governing organisations of the health and medical professions commonly recommend that in business practices a set of guidelines should be implemented, whose primary goal is placing the client's interests and well-being at the forefront, above that of the treating clinician and their personal financial gain. It is recommended that a primary goal of a gift or financial reward be regulated to protect the client and clinician relationship, to eliminate the exploitation of both the client and the clinician. By adhering to this framework, it will essentially eliminate conflict of interest. Codes of interactions by governing bodies in the pharmaceutical arena have implemented guidelines that focus to maintain relationships within healthcare settings, for example, by encouraging samples of drugs and products to be given first, to allow for the patient to assess effectiveness and safety for a specific condition whilst minimising unnecessary expense. This framework could easily be adapted to provide a set of guidelines for employees to follow in a clinical setting like the one that has been presented. As we can see in this next phase of the video, the employee A takes on a new approach, focusing on adopting relationship selling with the client rather than the original approach, which was focused on the transaction.
Furthermore, healthcare for many parties is considered primarily as profitable business and, as previously mentioned, can cause ethical dilemmas for employees when faced with deciding on the best interest of their client and the best interest of the business's profitability. A 2010 study found that 9 out of 9 pharmaceutical companies had spent more money on marketing and advertising than on research and development. The same study revealed that, on average, big pharmaceutical companies employ 81% more people in marketing and advertising than it does in research and development. If businesses can eliminate or regulate factors such as incentives or rewards for sales that may influence employees to make unethical choices, there is not only a lesser chance of risk for their patient, but more focus to build relationships and, in turn, to build business. Both parties can then move forward with beneficial outcomes.
Reflecting on the information just provided, this is a revised ethical dilemma. Morning girls, how are you both? Good. Great. I just wanted to have a quick team meeting before we start the day. So I just wanted to go through the staff incentive for the month. So what it's going to be is whoever can sell the most exfoliants containing AHA and BHA to our clients, and whoever achieves the highest amount will receive a cash bonus at the end of the month. Do you have any questions?
I guess just in terms of it being just AHAs and BHAs, is that perhaps a bit limiting in terms of the best interest of the client?
You know what, Fiona, that's actually a really good point. So maybe we need to alter the incentive to being the most product. So it's not just exfoliants, because I actually think that it is really important that the consideration is what's best for the client.
Hi Vanessa, I'm Kiati, I'll be your therapist today. So what are your main concerns?
I'm just really sensitive. I feel like I'm quite red, and the only thing I'm using at home is soap and water.
Okay, well, soap and water would not be very ideal for your condition. My recommendation would be probably starting you on a gentle cleanser, just to take out the phase of soap and water altogether. And then probably booking you in for about after 2 weeks, and then we can just go through it again and do a bit of a review. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, that sounds good. That will be beneficial for my skin.
Definitely, that would be very beneficial, because once we swap you over to a gentle cleanser, at least you're cleansing properly, and that would soothe and calm your skin down.
Perfect.
Is that good?
That sounds good.
There you go, Vanessa. That's your cleanser. So using it morning and night, do a double cleanse, and then we can see you in about 2 weeks for a review. Is that looking good
That
for
sounds
you?
good.
Yes, fantastic. That would just be $50 for today. Thank you. No problem. Perfect. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Kiati.
I know her skin was so inflamed, and I just wanted to do what's best for her skin, and I think a gentle cleanser would really be helpful, and then we can get her in after 2 weeks, just to do a review. Yeah, like I'm not going to sell her anything and everything just because I want to make my target. I need to do something that's beneficial for the client because it's ethically right.
As you can see, after making a few small changes to the staff incentive, we were able to still be able to provide an incentive that benefited both parties.